Members of the diplomatic corps, members of the medical fraternity, members of the media, other distinguished ladies and gentlemen, good morning. As patroness of the Caribbean Association of Oncology and Hematology, I welcome you here this morning and I thank you for being here and joining us. It is truly an honor for me to be here with you. Now, as wife of the Prime Minister of Trinidad and Tobago, I find myself speaking to different audiences, and depending on the nature of the topic and the target audience, the intensity of my adrenaline rush varies. Last week, for instance, I gave the keynote address at a homework center, and I directed my address to children between the ages of 5 to 12. I was as cool as a cucumber. But today, my adrenaline is at its peak. And I have to remind myself that I am not the expert here. I am not the oncologist. I am a simple attorney at law, going into a field which I'm not totally out of my depth, but I actually felt that I was. Now, and I will tell you this, while I was preparing my speech for this morning, I read everything that I thought I could read on cancer until I was suffering from brain overload. There were so many acronyms, I couldn't believe it. It was HCC, CCLM, CCA, IARC, just to name a few. But at least I consoled myself that I was familiar with CARICOM and CAOH. So here I am. And I know everybody here should know what CAOH means, but for those who don't, it's the Caribbean Association of Oncology and Hematology. Now, in accepting the role of patron of CAOH, I saw it as an opportunity to raise my voice in the fight against cancer, a word that instantly instills fear and helplessness, a word that can bring grown men to their knees in tears, a word that disrupts families, causing pain and suffering, a word that for many means the end of life. No one wants to die. Steve Jobs said, "Death is the destination we all share." And I add to that, it all depends on when and how. Cancer is a disease which caused me intense pain when I lost my mother to colon cancer. She died within 1 month of diagnosis. My sister not only lost our mother to cancer, but she also lost her husband to colorectal cancer when he was only 46. And I can go on and on about the uncles who have died of cancer and the friends who have died of cancer. And at the end of it all, I ask myself, what is the nature of this complex beast which we have been unable to defeat over 4 millennia? Joe Biden, former Vice President of the United States, gave a very interesting description of this elusive disease. And as I said, I have read everything. So he said that it uses every tool at its disposal. It hides from the immune system. It builds its own blood supply system and uses viruses to spread. It engineers a friendlier environment in which to survive. It never gives up and it never surrenders. But we cannot let cancer outsmart us. We have to force its surrender. We must control it. No weapon formed against us shall prosper. The burden of this beast is rising globally and exerts immense strain on populations and health systems at all income levels. It is estimated that by 2030, over 2/3 of all cancer-related deaths will occur in developing countries. Within CARICOM, with the exception of Guyana and Belize, cancer is the second leading cause of death after cardiovascular disease. The impact and cost of cancer to our societies are significant. It can severely burden a country's economy. It contributes to poverty and it impedes development. In the face of these dismal predictions, we hear renowned scientists say that there is no cure. And in the words of Mighty Duke, who was one of our Calypsonians, we ask, how many more must die? No person stricken with cancer wants to hear that finding a cure for cancer is an elusive dream. And we understand this. But this, however, is the reality of the situation. We have to take solace in the fact that even if we can't beat it, we can control it. We must control the incidence of cancer by increasing awareness of the importance of early detection and screening. We must control it by getting all citizens, both men and women, to get tested. We must control it by encouraging proper lifestyle choices. We can control cancer so that it becomes chronic and not deadly. And this is why you are all gathered here today. You come from different countries with different medical specialties, different areas of medical research, but you are here with one common goal: to chart a new course for oncology in the Caribbean. Over the next 2 days, you will dedicate time to identifying new challenges, sharing strategies, and creating guidelines and standards to improve the fight against cancer, more specifically breast, cervical, prostate, colon, lung, and multiple myeloma. As you tailor these guidelines, you will be ably assisted by Dr. Robert Carlson of the NCCN. Now, I know everybody knows it is the National Comprehensive Cancer Network, but for the 1 or 2 persons here who don't, that's what it is. Now, Dr. Carlson is highly respected in the oncology community, and his bio is nothing short of formidable and impressive. We have been gifted with the best. Sub-Saharan Africa has already benefited from his expertise. As we fight the battle with cancer, we in the Caribbean must band together in partnership. We are a region of approximately 42 million people, with islands extending across an area of 235,000 square meters. We share a common history, which gives us our own Caribbean identity. We have collaborated in the past, and we must continue to collaborate as the call is made for intensified interventions to address non-communicable diseases, inclusive of cancer. If we are to commit to reducing early deaths by cancer across the Caribbean by 2030, we must operate under one cohesive body, one joint venture. A joint venture which can work with governments, with organizations such as the NCCN and the WHO, with non-governmental organizations, and with the private sector. CAOH is such a regional body. It is committed to playing its part in helping to ensure that all countries of the Caribbean are able to offer their people access to the highest standards of cancer care. I firmly believe that CAOH is poised to become recognized as the regional body to advance cancer care and control in the Caribbean. After all, I am told that PAHO and CARICOM have both agreed to endorse CAOH as the entity to continue to develop cancer guidelines in the Caribbean. And I might add, we all know that an organization is only as strong and as good as its people. And in that regard, we must be eternally grateful to Dr. Marissa Nimrod and her team for their hard work and dedication. And as we know, they will ensure the longevity of this association. So, to all of you here this morning, I wish you a very successful conference as you strive to reduce the mortality of our citizens. I look forward to receipt of the NCCN guidelines and your consensus document. Thank you, and may God bless us all.